Shohei Ohtani. Have you ever heard this name? If you asked a Japanese person that question, they'd probably say, "Of course I have." Are you kidding me? That's how famous Shohei Ohtani is in Japan. Every single day, Japanese news programs report his game results without fail. If you asked, who is the most famous Japanese athlete? Almost everyone would answer, Shohei Ohtani, without hesitation. He's that popular, a true superstar. In fact, his popularity and likability easily surpass those of Japan's Prime Minister. Wait, who is the Prime Minister right now? In the US, about 40% of people know who Shohei Ohtani is. If you're into baseball or sports in general, you've probably heard his name. But if you're not really into sports, maybe not so much, right? And in places like Europe or other parts of Asia, where baseball isn't as big, most people probably have no idea who he is. Soccer is way more popular there. In Japan, soccer is also very popular today, but baseball has been loved for generations. Soccer's popularity started growing only about 30 years ago, around the time I was in elementary school. Baseball, on the other hand, has been a national favorite since the days of my grandfather and even great-grandfather. Today, we're talking about Shohei Ohtani, a player almost every Japanese person knows. But here's the thing, only about 5% of Japanese actually know the mindset behind his success. From the book, Shohei Ohtani's 120 Mindsets for Making the Impossible Possible, I've narrowed it down to 8 key mindsets that are easy to understand. And even many Japanese don't know them. After all, who wants to hear all 120? That would be exhausting. By learning and applying these secrets, your life can become richer. Even if you don't put them into practice, just knowing Ohtani in detail can boost your likability with Japanese people, big time. If you're currently working with Japanese colleagues, or plan to in the future, this is a must-watch. Even sharing just one of these 8 mindsets with a Japanese person could instantly help you close a deal. That's the kind of impact we're talking about. So, stay tuned and let's dive in. Before we dive into Ohtani's 8 key mindsets, let's first take a look at who Shohei Ohtani really is. Ohtani is a Japanese player currently playing for the Los Angeles Dodgers in the US. He has already won the Major League Baseball MVP 3 times, and in 2025, he's once again considered a top candidate for the award. That alone is impressive, but what truly sets him apart is his two-way ability. In baseball, it's standard for pitchers to focus solely on pitching, while batting is left to other players. Ohtani, however, excels at both. He's a top-level pitcher and batter. He's so extraordinary that his presence has actually changed the way Major League Baseball views the rules. To put it in terms of other sports, it's like Steph Curry and LeBron James rolled into one player in basketball. Or imagine Patrick Mahomes in American football, but also playing defense and tackling himself as the quarterback. In soccer, it would be like Lionel Messi not only having his current incredible skills but also being an elite goalkeeper. That's just how extraordinary Shohei Ohtani is. That's why we Japanese are completely smitten with Shohei Ohtani. He's especially popular among elementary school kids and middle-aged women. You can really see it, more and more kids are wearing Los Angeles Dodgers t-shirts in support of him. We just can't take our eyes off his every move, every pitch, every swing. But even with all this attention, Ohtani has mindsets and habits that are still not widely known to the public. By learning these, you can not only become more of an Ohtani expert than most Japanese people, but also incorporate some of his great habits and ways of thinking into your own life. So, let's go through them one by one. The first of Shohei Ohtani's success mindsets, one that only about 5% of Japanese people know, is this: eliminate negative thinking. Here's something that most Japanese people don't even know. Shohei Ohtani actually says that he's a very negative thinker. This phrase appears many times throughout the book. Even while eating, he often couldn't stop thinking about games. His mind was filled with worry and anxiety. And whenever that happened, the balance between his mental focus and physical performance would fall apart. and he couldn't deliver the results he wanted. Through those experiences, he learned to face his anxiety head-on and step onto the field only after reaching a state of full mental clarity. That makes sense, right? Think about it. When you present your idea to your boss, if you're secretly worrying, "I wonder if they'll understand my plan," you probably won't perform your best. But if you go in thinking, "This proposal is solid, it's going to work," you'll naturally speak with more confidence and energy. And most of the time, things go much better that way. Even Shohei Ohtani feels anxiety, of course he does. He's a global superstar under incredible pressure. Compared to what he faces, the pressure from people around me is smaller than an ant. What's important here isn't to avoid feeling anxious. It's to confront that anxiety and clear it away before the big moment comes. The second success mindset of Shohei Ohtani, one that only about 5% of Japanese people know, is this: focus on yourself, not your opponent. In the world of sports, there are always countless rivals. Wins and losses are clear, and every detail, from performance to stats, can be measured with numbers. That's why people tend to focus on athletes' records or their team's results. But Ohtani is different. Of course, he has a strong desire to win, to become a champion. Yet, more than competing against others, he's focused on competing against himself. He once said, "It's not about who I'm playing against. The real fun of baseball is solving my own challenges within myself." That's why you never see him trying to put others down or beat someone just for the sake of it. A great example of this is how he interacts with other players during games. Whenever there's a short break, you'll often see him casually chatting and smiling with players from the opposing team, sometimes even with the umpires. He also once said, "I don't focus on who I'm facing. What makes baseball interesting to me is how I can work through my own challenges." That's why you'll never see him trying to bring others down. A great example of this is how he interacts with his opponents during games. When there's a short break, you'll often see him chatting and laughing with players from the other team, sometimes even with the umpires. He also said something very impressive: "I only look at the good points of my opponents. I'm more interested in how I can grow myself than in exploiting their weaknesses." Most pitchers study their rivals to find their weak spots and attack them. But Ohtani is different. He studies their strengths, and then tries to learn from them in his next practice. No wonder he's respected by his rivals. How about your workplace? Have you ever felt jealous of a coworker who's doing well? Maybe you wouldn't go so far as to sabotage them, but have you ever secretly wished for a little bird poop to fall on their head? Laughs, still, that mindset won't get us anywhere. Instead, we should focus on noticing what others do well, and see what we can learn from them. That's how we truly grow. As always, Ohtani shows us what real greatness looks like. The third mindset of Shohei Ohtani's success, known only to about 5% of Japanese people, is this: work at your own pace. When we think of team sports, we usually imagine group practices, players training together under the same routine. But Ohtani is different. He actually prefers to train alone. Why? Because that way, he can fully focus on the goals he's set for himself. Even during the offseason, when most players finally take a break, Ohtani never skips his training. Whether he's traveling abroad or resting between games, he still finds time to practice. He once said, "During the offseason, I don't really feel like drinking or partying." For him, training always comes first. That quiet dedication, staying true to his own rhythm and not getting distracted by others, is one of the secrets behind his incredible success. Isn't that amazing? For me as a Japanese person, this mindset feels almost unbelievable. You see, in Japan, we tend to prefer doing things together, studying together, practicing together, even eating together. It's part of our culture. So when I see Ohtani training alone, completely focused on his own goals, it really stands out. He's not driven by what others are doing around him. He's driven by his own standards. That's something truly rare in Japanese culture, and maybe that's one of the reasons he keeps growing at such an incredible pace. For example, when attending a lecture with free seating, if many people are sitting toward the back, Most Japanese people will follow and sit in the back as well. Maybe it's because of our school education, but Japanese people tend to avoid standing out. That's why, when someone asks, "Does anyone have an opinion?" or "Would anyone like to try?" everyone suddenly freezes. Time literally stops for a few seconds. People start glancing around at each other, hoping someone else will speak up first. You can almost hear their thoughts. "I don't want to do it. Everyone will look at me. It's embarrassing." If you ever work at a Japanese company in the future, be careful. This kind of silence happens a lot. But to be honest, watching these nervous Japanese people can be a little entertaining too. The fourth mindset of Shohei Ohtani's success, one that only about 5% of Japanese people know, is picking up trash. Wait, what? Picking up trash? How could that possibly have anything to do with success? I know, it sounds strange, but in Japan, it actually makes perfect sense. You see, Japanese people tend to respect those who take initiative, even outside of their work. Someone who picks up trash, organizes their surroundings, or cleans the restroom is often seen as a disciplined and respectable person. For example, the founder of Japan's famous curry restaurant chain Curry House Koko Ichibanya, Soji Tokuchi, is well known for cleaning the main streets of Nagoya every morning. In Japan, there are no true, top professionals who neglect cleanliness. Whether he realized it or not, Shohei Ohtani listed picking up trash as one of the key actions to help him reach his high school goals, throwing a 160 km/h fastball and getting drafted first by 8 professional teams. Can you imagine? A teenager thinking that picking up trash would somehow help him achieve his dreams. That's just incredible. Even as a man myself, I can't help but admire him for that mindset. Ohtani once said, "When I pick up trash, I'm actually picking up the luck that someone else threw away." There's an old Japanese saying that perfectly fits his attitude. God is in the details. It means that true excellence is achieved by paying attention to the smallest things. Ohtani's greatness doesn't come only from talent. It comes from the way he values even the tiniest actions in his daily life. And maybe that's what truly makes him world-class. The fifth mindset of Shohei Ohtani's success, the one that only about 5% of Japanese people know, will be revealed in the next video. Sorry, let's take a little break here. I don't want to throw too much information at you all at once. So I've divided Ohtani's 8 success mindsets into 2 parts. 4 in this video, and 4 in the next one. Let's quickly review what we've covered today. Number 1. Eliminate negative thinking. Number 2. Focus on yourself, not your opponent. Number 3. Go at your own pace. Number 4. Pick up trash. The remaining 4, trust me, are just as powerful, maybe even more inspiring. So stay tuned for part 2, and let's keep learning from Ohtani's incredible mindset together. This channel shares Japanese books with the world. Through the words of Japanese authors, I'll introduce you to unique Japanese ways of thinking, daily habits, and cultural values that you might not know yet. But this channel isn't just about learning new knowledge. It's about helping you live a richer, more meaningful life starting tomorrow. I'm on this same journey too. I want to grow my mindset and make my life better, together with you. So if that sounds interesting to you, please hit that subscribe button and join me on this journey. See you in the next video, the second half of Ohtani's success mindsets. Take care, and have a great day.